All right. How
Awesome.
are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
That's good. It's so nice to meet you. I'm such a big fan for like decades. Oh my gosh, like thinking of outside Providence and anywhere but here and so many great things. So
Well,
nice to
thank
meet
you.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It's nice that to talk to somebody who's actually seen outside Providence.
Um, you have such an eclectic resume, as I was just saying. But I was thinking, like, looking through your his filmography. Is this the first time you played a doctor on the Pit?
It is. Um, it is the first time I played a doctor, and it's an interesting you say that because working with John for now 5 shows, um, when this part came along, I remember thinking like, I definitely had my doubts because my perception of what a doctor is shaped by what I've seen on TV, you know. But I should have known because it's John that it's going to be just the most hyper realistic thing you can photograph. So I watched this documentary called Code Black, which deals with an emergency room in LA County. It's really a very good doc. And I the attending physician was this very get your hands dirty kind of working class guy. And that's when it clicked for me. I was like, oh wait, I can do that. I said to myself, like, this is my way in. And once I started kind of wrapping my head around, what they were and started to forget about what I wasn't, that's when it landed. But yeah, like having somebody like John behind me saying, "No, you got this." Like I don't have to convince him, right? We've worked together. We have like this understanding. So, no, I've never played a doctor before, and I'm so thrilled that this one worked out.
Oh, it's such a fantastic show. And I have so many questions, but I was thinking about like since you haven't played a doctor before, what was it like learning all of that terminology? Because one of the things that impresses me so much about you is that it comes out of you so easily. Like when you're in that room, it's just like all of you. It's just like how do you kind of take that and make it something that digestible for yourself and then for the audience?
I think, and what I'm noticing now that I've really thought about it, I think most of the cast has a pretty strong theater history and theater training. And so this kind of language, which is pretty foreign, to me, I don't understand most of it and have to look it up and almost just memorize. It's more of a memorization thing and not the kind of preparation I would usually do on just a regular, role because it is so important for the timing and just the way that we shoot it that all of that is perfect. So it's just kind of this over being over prepared. That's one of the things like that had worked for me. And I think that like that's sort of what you end up doing in theater. You rehearse so much, 10 weeks of a rehearsal, so that when you get up there it just is in you. And it's something about this show, the way that it's instant adrenaline because of the style and what we're doing and the immediacy of it, the fact that it's minute to minute. It really does it really does. It's There's so much truth in everything that your acting is not even there. It's just like you are doing. And I believe that's why it works. It's so successful and works so well for the actors.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. So your character shows up and then disappears for a big portion of the season. What was it like filming that? And like, did you feel kind of like you missed out on any kind of team building in between, or like, I know, but like, I know this is kind of. I think when I talked to the DP. I think she said that most of it is shot in order, but like, which is weird. But I was wondering what it was like, kind of jumping in and out.
um, well, Yes, I felt like an outsider. I was there for day one because we do pretty much shoot in order. So my day one was their day one. Coming down the elevator, delivering the letter. Um, so everybody was sort of new, although they had spent time together doing this training, which I didn't get a chance to do. Um, and my day two was up on the roof because we went to Pittsburgh around episode 6 or 7 and did all the exterior stuff. So
That's where I
um,
live, by the way. I live in Pittsburgh, so I
is
love
that
seeing
right?
all of that. Yeah, I think it's so cool. You guys really capture a lot of the essence of Pittsburgh ways.
Oh, thank you. Well, the final rooftop scene. What's wild is that it was my second day, really, and I didn't have the full context of the season arc,
Yeah,
which is not unusual in episodic television. It's a common challenge jumping into emotionally loaded material without all the pieces. But with John directing and Noah as my scene partner, it didn't matter, right? That moment it works because the characters are so well built, and I just didn't try to allow myself to overthink it. I just listened, and Noah was delivering real emotion, real weight, and for me it wasn't about tricks or craft. It was truth, and that that's the purest kind of performance. There's something incredibly powerful about two guys listening to each other, not really being able to look at each other because that's how they operate. And when Abbott finally does get him to make eye contact, to let him know, I see you, we survived this. And not only that, but you deserve to hear this and accept the fact that what you did down there was nothing short of amazing.
yeah. Oh, I love that scene. Speaking of you and Noah, you guys have such a fun chemistry, and there's this great scene where one of the doctors calls you and him the old white doctors or something, and I felt personally attacked because that means I'm old too.
Yeah, yeah,
But what's it like being like the old man on the show? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever had that before.
I've never had it before. I'm definitely being called a senior citizen on social media. I've seen it out there, and I'm cool with it. Like, I don't know why, but with um, with this character, they're just sort of accepting who I was and what my age was, and not trying to, you know, in some ways compete with the younger cast, just accepting the realness of it all um, was very rewarding and freeing, and just it helped create the character. I think it's sort of getting back to what I was saying, just getting out of the way of my brain and just allowing it to be, and that certainly is it works well. It complements John and Scott and Noah's vision of the show.
Yeah, that's great. I love the way Abbott mentors Santos. There's that great scene where like she does something kind of ballsy and he's like, don't ever do that again. But I'm also impressed. And I was thinking, do you think he sees a bit of himself in her? Was he like her at that stage?
Yeah, because he's not Abbott is not he's not just a doctor, right? He's someone who learned how to lead without ever asking for it, and he was sort of designed. I kind of designed him that way. From the idea that combat, you're not allowed to choose if you're ready, right? You just step up, and that's what he brings to the ER.
Yeah.
He's not polished or overly intellectual. His instincts are sharpened by necessity. And that became the spine of how I played him. He's deeply human, flawed, but, relentless in the face of chaos. And so when Santos does the Raboa, um, it's a teaching hospital. So it's important for him to say that what you've done there is you've definitely overstepped, but he respects it because that's who he is. And honestly, if you save somebody, then that's the most important thing. I also think that it illustrates the different styles of teaching between Robbie and Abbott, and it kind of helps their dynamic as well because they are kind of mirror images of each other. They have a quiet understanding of how to do this, and they don't really have to talk about it. It just is. It's unspoken and known. Um, so yeah, I really dig that scene. I thought that I think that Santos is definitely on her way to becoming her own type of ER cowboy.
I love her character. I know she gets a lot of flack online, but I think she's such an important character, and the fact that we all are all so passionate about her in some way
Yeah,
shows that. Yeah,
totally.
yeah. So I love the final episode reveal that you've been working with this prosthetic leg the whole time. Um, that was just so interesting. Was that added later in the script? Was it always there? Are there hints throughout the episodes that we've been missing that this was there?
No, I knew, and um, it was revealed at the end, and which is a huge surprise to the audience, but also to some of the newer people. And I think, that was designed that way so that because he's not defined by
Right.
his prosthetic leg. He's defined by his ability as a talented uh, attending physician.
Yeah. I love that. I thought that was so great. What's it been like to see the reactions to the pit? I know some super fans even think that there's something going on with you and the one surgeon that you spar with. Like there's a romance, which I'm like, come on, guys. But like for some reason, people want romance on the show, which I am like, no, please don't. But are you like, yeah, what's it like to see those reactions, especially seeing how it's this little train that could, like, I feel like it came out and it's just built so much steam. People are still talking about it.
Well, I, I've never been a part of something like this, and it's wonderful to go out. Like even here, I'm in Toronto, and just on the street, somebody will stop me and say, "Hey, man, I watched the pit. I'm a physician myself, and thanks. Like you guys really got it right." Or talking to somebody who's been in combat or is a single leg amputee and says to me, "Hey, there's never been a character like this on TV that I can relate to. Thank you for giving me a voice." And people reach out to me. That stuff. That lands on me because that's sort of what attracted me to wanting to be an actor. Like there were performances that I saw that I thought, wow, this is making me making me feel something, so and identify and understand like what it feels like. So it's been some of it can go a little crazy off the rails, which I actually also enjoy. Just reading comments and playing along. I think it's fun. I think people need something to get behind. Sometimes the world can be a complicated place. So, in the spirit of doing the best we can, I think these people on the show are decent, all of them to their core. And I think people are drinking that up.
Yeah. I think so too. I love it. I love that it's and I know it's kind of connected to, well, in some way people are associating with ER, but I love that it's just its own thing that exists and I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think that often in television, when things are successful, um, and I see it a lot in the auditions I get or the scripts I read, that so many, something will be successful, and then like 15 other things try to become that. So
yeah,
when we find something that works and is original and is its own thing, not to say that a medical drama on
right.
television is original, but the way it's done and the style we do it, and we're not so concerned about, my conversation with John and Scott. and Noah has never been about like what mark I have to hit or how to deliver some exposition. Our conversations were about who these people are, what they're
Yeah.
carrying, what they're trying to bury, what the medicine looks like. And they have stuck to that and they haven't moved off of it. And it's landing and it's working. And I'm sure now we'll see a lot of other people try to replicate it.
Yeah.
But this is what it is. And I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. Congratulations. I also just remembered something that I was a huge fan of Animal Kingdom, another show you were on. And my friend actually, who writes for the Contending too, bought me a family tree one year with pictures of the Animal Kingdom characters. So I have you on my wall somewhere in my office.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Different kind of character for sure.
Yeah, oh my gosh, like completely different. So yeah, but yeah, thank you so much and congratulations on the show. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Take
one.
care,
Have a good
Megan. All right.
weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.